Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? So this is just going to be a very brief showcase of my mod. I'm going to show probably what's the easiest way to start out a new character here real quick. If you hit your tilde key and type in COC space unowned cell and hit enter, you will warp to a interior cell that the developers left in, and there's only like 8 objects in here. It loads very quickly. There's no running scripts, and you start with a generic character. Just go through here, and this allows you to start the game without having to worry about well, starting a new game and having to go through that really long intro sequence, or if you have the alternate start alternative life mods, this allows you to just simply load it up in a really nice space. It gives you a very generic character here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the helmets because I have mods that add a helmet overlay, so now we can see. And while this is loading up, if you'll notice on the top left there, it's just simply loading up all of the MCM scripting to start the menus for that. We're going to let that load. I prefer to do it this way instead of starting on an existing save. If you try to load up an existing character and try to test a mod that has scripts, it won't necessarily always work because the game does not know to look for new scripts, because scripts are baked into the save file. So if you're testing a new mod that has the scripts, and let's say you're halfway through the scripting process, as in you've started a quest, and you have to go back and retest it because a change was made, it will not take effect because the scripts have been baked into the save game that you already have. So right now this menu is probably just continuing to update. It should be okay here. So let's go ahead and do a couple things. We're going to type in TGM while we're waiting and hit enter, and that's going to toggle God mode. This way we can't die while we're testing the mod. Then we're going to type in TDetect and hit enter. Whoops, I obviously can't spell TDetect, and you'll notice that has now turned off AI detection. This will allow us to explore the mod unmolested and not have to worry about anything. Another couple good ones, you could do toggle collision, which basically turns you into a floating camera that lets you warp through walls and everything else in the game. We're not going to do that. And yeah, that should be pretty much it as far as that. Now this particular mod, we're going to go to Mournhollow, and I don't want to load directly into the world space where the mod is, because that will immediately start the quest. So we're going to go to the nearest world space, which is Movart's Lair. So we're going to type in COC space Movart's Lair exterior 01. I'm going to hit enter. And now this should dump us directly in front of Movart's Lair in Mournhollow. Let's see here. It'll take a minute. I've got an unbelievable amount of mods, so the load time can be quite ridiculous sometimes, but I guess that's the price you pay for having fun. Let's see here. There's going to be a lot of things that will be shown on screen that's not part of my mod, Mournhollow. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Everyone's game is custom, so everyone will see different things. Alrighty, so let's get through this. Survival mode, nope. We're here in Movart's Lair, and there's Mournhollow. Turn around. Head toward the graveyard. Man, this game's gorgeous. Alrighty, so let's see what we can do. Let's just take a peek around. These are ward totems. So started echoes beneath Mournhollow. Investigate the chapel and the graveyard. That is my custom quest for this. And of course then we discover Mournhollow right after. So if I open up my journal, go to here, here's the quest. Deep within the swamp of Mournhollow rises, well, you guys can pause it and read it. I don't need to be talking. Let's see here. So it says investigate the drowned chapel. These doors are locked for the tombs here, the mausoleums. I do have a custom trigger box that when you enter the graveyard, there's a 10% chance that the bell on the church will ring. Boy, he don't look happy. These guys, if you're wondering, are part of one of Mihal's mods, the zombies. I can link that if you're interested. Okay. Let's see here. There is multiple redundancies for this quest for starting. One of them is searching the dead conjurer here. And another is this historical account book. It is part of the leveled list that's out in the world, so you can very well come across this in some random NPC dungeon location or NPC's home. And if you read this book, it will also start the quest, just like walking into the graveyard here. There's another backup script on the chapel door, which will start it as well. But the quest is already started, so we don't have to worry about that. The quest is going to update and tell us to search for the chapel. Obviously, these people here have been, well, a little busy with some necromancy. Not very nice. This is part of a mod. I'll link in the requirements tab. It's a custom mod for the statue of Molag Bal, and I've of course got the Winter Sun patch included, so I can also accept the blessing here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and go down into the ossuary. I wanted to make this video to show people exactly what I'm seeing on my screen, because everybody has different mods installed. So there's going to be different textures. A gentleman that was helping me with the testing, he's been a tremendous help. His name's gamer tag is Follogar. He found some clipping with a coffin in one of the lower rooms that I could not see on my game because I had different textures than he did, so it's just kind of cool seeing what other people see on their game versus mine. So this place is fully nav meshed, so followers can come in here with you. This is going to be a player home once you finish the quest. It's actually technically already is, but it definitely plays more like a dungeon than a player quest. Or I should say a player home. You'll see. There are a lot of custom books here. All of the books that I wrote, they all tell a story that's part of the mod, or this particular book I actually ported over from one of my other mods, Manor of the Revenant Lord on the NEXUS. I just thought it was a cool story and really wanted it in. Let's see here. The NPCs, of course, aren't reacting to me because I have the toggle AI detection off. So the quest here, if you show on the map, here is the marker. And it points to the journal, and it will update the quest as soon as you read the journal. So it tells you to kill this Revenent101 character. He's not very nice. This door will remain locked until you get the key off of him. We just picked up the ossuary catacomb key, which will let us get through this door, and he has the master key, which will let us get into the mausoleums up top in the graveyard, as well as that door and another door down here. So this is gonna pop here. Fortunately, we had toggle god mode on, so no issues. These traps can be a little annoying. All you have to do is grab the soul gem or hit it with your bow and arrow, knock it off. And this is a door to a smithing room that's locked. And you guys can go down there and explore and have some fun if you want. Let's see what else we got. I'm constantly adding little things like this bookshelf that's been collapsed, and little clutter items to help populate this place. It's pretty impressive if you open it up in the creation kit, just to kind of see what's there. Let's grab that. You want to check on this? Okay, cool. Collapsed tunnel. Let's see what we got here. There's a little torn journal fragment here, which is kind of cool. You can read it at your own leisure. I really tried to link the journal fragments and the notes and stuff to actual events that are taking place here in the catacombs. Like this journal fragment actually talks about the magical traps over there, which is, you know, kind of cool. One of the journal fragments actually mentions the collapsed tunnel here, so I just did that for environmental storytelling purposes and just trying to stay consistent with everything. Man, there's bones everywhere. Here's another one. Grab that guy, that's annoying. There's all kinds of custom trigger boxes and stuff too, so your followers will make remarks as you go through here. Here's another custom book that I wrote. This is a used ebony ore mine that's mentioned in one of the journals. It was to build a statue up in the chapel. Again, I just tried to link stuff for consistency. Okay. This is one of my favorite rooms in this place. When I was initially creating this mod, this is what I had in mind, was a long hallway with a lot of sarcophagi spread out in a player home, and you would be able to walk up to one of the sarcophagus and open it up and be able to sleep with the dead. And you know, it's I know it's dark, but the whole game is dark, so just kind of cool for a custom Necromancer home. The NPCs here, their faces should be fixed. They had a gray face bug for some friends of mine that were testing, but that's because I didn't have the face data and the meshes and textures, the face geome. So open that bar and then the door. This is the main room here where the player home is. And this is the gentleman that you have to kill. So what I'm going to do is just select him in the creation kit and drop him. So then the quest completes. I can open it up here and you can see that it's now done. And I decided to mention here that you could also read his journal for, you know, environmental storytelling. So the boots, there's the graveyard church key, which we'll grab. There's more copies everywhere. Here's his journal. Here's a neat little story that I wrote. You can read that later. You can read his journal later. The journal, reading the journal doesn't actually do anything. It's just there for storytelling purposes, as well as some more documents here. Here's a little poem I wrote, which I thought was cool. Here's another copy of the key. There's a lot of cool stuff here. There's another key and another book. Just a lot of custom environmental storytelling stuff here. Here's a chest, like a regular boss chest. It does not respawn, so it's safe to put your own items in here after you loot it. In fact, everything here you can loot and put your own stuff in, so there should be enough storage spaces here. This is a custom book cabinet where you can store your books. Busts for the masks, the Dragon Priest masks. There's only one mannequin here. Custom wardrobes. Basic stuff, you know, your cooking pot. Enchanter's table here. Some storage. Oh yeah, this was fun. I wrote a script here that you can offer souls to the ossuary, and it will take a random filled soul gem and give you a random item in return that is within theme of the mod. So if I offer a filled soul gem, it gave me linen wrap. Offer another one, it gave me a ring of peerless conjuration, it looks like. So it's kind of a random toss-up. It was kind of cool. It should spawn things indefinitely as long as you have filled soul gems. Another cool one here that I did was being able to study the corpse here. And every time you study it, it gives you a cool message in the upper left hand corner, and a random item like human flesh, a human heart. It also increases your conjuration skill by very, very little. You can only study for so much before it tells you that you need to wait, and after a couple days it will reset. I do want to talk about this guy over here real quick. This poor fellow, he left a note in the inn in Mournhollow, which is another way of being able to start the quest. You can read that, and he left us a little note here, but yeah, there's multiple ways to start this quest. If I counted it, I believe it was 6 or 7 different ways. So there's a lot of redundancy. Watching my wife play the game, she would oftentimes discover a location but not actually investigate it, and with the intent of coming back to it later because she was already doing a quest. So I just wanted to make sure that there were a lot of backups for being able to start it. A little staff enchanter. No clue what this area is used for. But yeah, it's a cool little mod. There's a lot of lore behind it, and I've probably got about 68, 69-ish hours in development. I started it around the 5th year of May, and worked on it on my weekends and a couple days off, so it came together surprisingly quickly. It was very, very quick to put together. Oh yeah, and then you guys get to have a nice little fun surprise here. These guys only spawn once, so you don't have to worry about them having to fight them again. But yeah, that's the mod. I'm gonna kind of walk around here, and if there's any suggestions or concerns or complaints, just let me know, and I'll do my best to support it here moving forward. I'm able to grab the skull here because I have a mod that lets me grab the miscellaneous items like bones that you shouldn't be able to grab. So there goes his head. Wow, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Let's look at this stuff. This is a smithing room. It unlocks with the key you get from the master Necromancer. There's a story that describes exactly what happened here in his journal that you can read. Okay, guys. There's also a note over here. So, yeah, this place should have pretty much everything a Necromancer could need or want. I didn't put a lot of weapon racks and stuff like that because I feel like that's more of a Nord style player home. It's like it wouldn't make much sense to have a arcane enchanter and maybe even an alchemy workbench and a strictly Nord style player home. So kind of likewise with this. Okay. Let's go take a peek here at a couple things. Oh yeah, forgot about the door. There's another book in here, which I thought was fun writing. It's another book over here. I used, full disclosure, I used ChatGPT to help me figure out the kind of wording for like a 12th century old style medieval English. It gave me a lot of help for information here too, as far as the wording, because I obviously do not speak ancient English. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Video's dragging on here. I really wanted to keep it under 15 minutes, but there's just so much to this place. Okay. Let's see here. Let's head back out. Hope the bell tolls. There's only like a 10% chance that it'll go off. And it didn't go off, but that's okay. It's just kind of a neat effect. It was kind of funny when I initially put the trigger box in for the bell to go off. It was going off non-stop like a doorbell. It was kind of funny. I had to fix that. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. A book on the catacomb there. Sarcophagus, I mean. But yeah. Just kind of a neat little area. Alrighty, well, that should about wrap it up here. Added a little village for lore's sake. Yeah, it's a neat little place. If you stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. I know that it was a long video, but yeah, I just wanted to do kind of a thorough tour of the mod here. So, alright guys, I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you much. Bye bye.